Good morning. Welcome back to another edition of Pre-Market PulseScan with yours truly, Dex the Algo Capitalist, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com. I hope everybody had a wonderful, safe, peaceful, and relaxing weekend. Because we back now. We back here doing our thing. All right, so what do we got going on today? Well, today is Technical Bounce Monday. And you know what happens after that? Turnaround Tuesday. So I think today we're going to see a continuation of this sort of a dead cat bounce off of the um, last week's lows. And this should set stuff up for the next leg down. Same thing for oil. Now, I know that I did tell you guys that I was carrying over short position from last week, being long the DXD, of which I will promptly be getting stopped out this morning as the Dow is up over 700 points, which we're about to get into in a second. But what I will be doing is I will be repositioning myself. And more than likely, I will be taking a futures position. I was looking to do that last night, but I decided to just see where the market is going to be looking at in the morning. So we'll see what's up. Okay, let's see here. I got questions already. All right, let's see. Have you looked into disaster loans for businesses from the government? If so, do you recommend applying? They claim up to $10,000 loan advance will not have to be repaid. I was listening to the president talk about that, and from what I gather, what he said versus what some of the articles that were written about it, they took a more in-depth view, and basically it was saying that small businesses, for the most part, are getting, backed out of this. They're not going to really be able to apply and get the money. Anyone can apply, but I don't think you'll be able to get the money. I don't know. I haven't looked that deep into it. It's worth looking into if you think you fit the guidelines. It's definitely worth looking into it. If the government's giving out free money, of course it's not free, but it just has the appearance of being free. But yeah, I mean, if you need it, go for it. But just remember, regardless of what they're doing, at some point, it is coming out of the hide of the American people. There's an old saying, and it has a lot of truth to it, that you can get more money out of the poor than you can from the rich. So if you notice that the poor are constantly being taxed to death and the wealthy exempt themselves from such rules, they can avoid those penalties and things of that nature. So, but just all of society does absorb a lot of the taxation, because what happens is it's really a weird system. Basically, states look to get money from the federal government. Federal government doesn't have any money. The way it works is states give money to the federal government. All right. Then the federal government gives some of the money back to the states so that they can do what they are looking to do. It's kind of a weird situation. The government acts like a middleman almost. Like, okay, give me money so that I can operate and be sustained as your boss. And if you meet certain guidelines, I'll give you your money back. So what will happen if all 50 states decided we're not going to give the Fed any more money? Well, guess what? The Fed will go broke because it gets its money from the states. So if the Fed decides, you know what, we're going to raise taxes and put surcharges on everything, then that puts more of a burden on the state. Well, a state is a non-existent entity, just like the state and the Fed is a non-existent entity. The state is made up of individuals. the Fed is also made up of individuals that are citizens of the states. So when the Fed votes or decides they're going to do something like make things more expensive for the people living in the states, well, it affects the people that work in the Fed and live in the states. So at some point, the Fed can only exempt themselves from so much, because they're still made up of individuals. And when those individuals go home at night, they're faced with all of the laws and things that they have passed in the interim. Case in point, you'll say, well, the legislators don't have to be penalized by certain things. They exempt themselves from certain laws. That's true. But when it comes to tariff and taxes, they're subject to it also. For instance, the president still has to put gas in his car. Now, of course, granted, he doesn't have to drive anywhere. He's driven wherever he needs to go. But you get my point. The fuel has to come from somewhere. Someone's paying someone something for that. All right. The individual Congress people, when they go home, they still have to pay their utility bills and their mortgages and all these other things. So whatever laws and things they've done, all right, it trickles down to them and also their offspring and their extended family. So at some point, no one is exempt from what's going on. Another awesome example would be all of the spraying that they claim they're doing to fight and combat global warming. Well, all that poison that they're spraying up in the sky that's making people sick, guess what? They have to breathe it too. All right. And so does their offspring. So at some point, everyone's being affected by the things that are being allowed to happen. Okay. So this is what this is. All right, the next question is, can the U.S. people turn this around? Of course, the U.S. and the citizens of the United States of America have always had the power to turn things around, but they don't. That was always my premise. They don't, and they won't. All right. Look how much has been allowed to happen even to this point. There gets a point where you get to the point of no return. And we're at that point. We've given away too much power. All right. Those that are in power tend to want to remain in power and tend to do whatever it takes to remain in power, even if that means sacrificing your own arm to do it. All right. To them, no price is too great. All right. They want to remain in power. They're going to do whatever they got to do to remain in power. And I thought about something else too. I was really thinking about this. All right. So I had mentioned that, if every American citizen, when they went to the polls to vote this November and they voted out every Republican and every Democrat and went with some type of libertarian or whatever, some independent person, whatever, right? I thought about it. And at the end of the day, I realized that would accomplish absolutely nothing. It would accomplish nothing. The reason being is because the Republicans and the Democrats are not the real problem. I know that's hard to hear. All right? They're not the problem. All right? What the issue is the shadowy figures behind the scene that control our government. Government is, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a neutral entity. It's neither good nor bad. All right. It's made up of individuals who run it. All right. And those individuals can be good or bad. But the issue is not even in the individuals that run said government. They're not the problem. The problem is the shadowy entities behind those individuals. So even if we removed everyone that is in office to this date out of office and brought in all new people, eventually the same problems would persist because you haven't gotten rid of the shadowy entities that control the government. Our government has been under control for a very long time. All right. Why do you think so many cover-ups and, conspiracies over the years has remained? All right. And this is, and you can't blame. See, you have these figureheads that the shadowy entities like to use so that they can blame everything on them. They're like the little fall guys, the sacrificial lambs. I know people like to look at people like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, but remember, they're not 900 years old. Okay, they weren't around, in 1870, in 1899. They weren't around, so you can't blame them. All right, they are part of a tradition, if you will. So you have to look at who is really controlling what's going on behind the scenes. And once you get that answer, then you have to do the knowledge to it. It's a very tricky and slippery slope, and the rabbit hole goes pretty deep. And when you realize the truth behind it, it can be quite daunting upon you because then you'll realize that we have not been in control of our government almost since the inception of it. But I will say this: the last straw or the last opportunity, the last chance we had to maintain our republic, that ended in 1914. That was it. We had a chance and we messed up. When they signed the Federal Reserve Act into law and when they formed the central banking system, that was it. That is the shadowy entity that controls the nations. And it is made up of very sketchy individuals. And what they have done is they have created certain complexes, if you will. They have tentacles. The bank is in the middle. And then you have these tentacles. You have your military industrial complex. You have your pharmaceutical industrial complex. You have your prison industrial complex. You have all these tentacles, all these complexes that run things. And these complexes are made up and controlled and ran by certain organizations. You have your Bilderberg, you have your Trilateral Commission, you have your secret societies, Skull and Bones and all these things. All right, you have your Black Boule. All right, you have your Khazarian Jew industrial complex. All right, you have all these different entities. All right, and it's not just one nationality of people, it's made up of multiple nationalities of people. I told you there's a Black Boule. All right, there is a entertainment complex. All right, there's a whole lot of different things, these different arms or these tentacles that run things. So if you really wanted to clean up, and take back your country, take back your government, you would have to get rid of not only the Fed, but all the central banks that go with it. And you would have to break up and take and wrestle control away from all the secret societies. That's the hardest part. That is the hardest part because you don't know everyone who is a part of that secret society. That's why it's called a secret society. Now, believe it or not, there are a lot of, how can I say, light sources around that exist. One of them, we have, we see these signs in everyday life, like movies, TV, people who study economics and finance. You look at the markets like we do here. You can see certain light fixtures, light posts or lighthouses that point in a certain direction so you can see. And I'll tell you, If you want to not just learn about how these secret societies operate, I think the best primer for that, and don't laugh because I'm dead serious here, I think you need to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That game was very eye-opening and very enlightening because it takes you back to the inception of these secret societies. It takes you all the way back to the land of Greece, going all the way back. And you get to see how all these things were set up, and the reason why it's so hard for people to understand these concepts, because they become entrenched in society. You had doctors, you had lawyers, you had politicians, you had military generals, you had the baker down the road, you had, you know, the blacksmith, you had the goldsmith, you had the dude who you know, the textile guy, you had, the person who dyes garments, you had all these different people that made up this secret society. And I ain't gonna lie, I was shocked. I was shocked to see when you have when you have to like what are the playthroughs when you have to expose and unlock and find all the people that make up this secret society, and then they had this one big player in the center of the circle. That thing was incredible, and it showed you the tentacles, and it was hard to figure out, who was part. I was shocked to find out, you know, um, like for instance, when I found out that the doctor was part of it, that blew me away. I can't front. I was blown away. I was like, but the doctor's been, helping people, and I had to do a mission to help her get some herbs and stuff to heal the sick, poor villagers. I mean, you would have thought she was Mother Teresa. You wouldn't have thought that she was an illuminist. Putting on a mask and wearing a black cloak and stuff, and sneaking around in the dark and working against you. That's the part that really blew me away, because she was working against me the whole time. And then and now I'm like, man, I'd like to. Why she gonna make me kill her now, man? Why I gotta kill her? You know what I'm saying? If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to get Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You got to get all the DLC that goes with it, because that won't. I forget which one it is that I'm talking about. You guys know who played the game. Where you have to infiltrate the secret society. My goodness, it really put a lot of things into perspective. But anyway, let's move on. Let's do this first, because I've ran my mouth. Let's look at the overnight markets. We do have some two-bar Charlie setups that we need to look at. All right, so the first one that I want to show you is in the Dow futures. It's up 800 points at 21,758. And we do have a bullish two-bar Charlie, which is an all-day up. We can expect the market to close in the green and be up all day. NASDAQ 100 is up 284 and a quarter points at 7806 and 3/4. The NASDAQ 100 was just shy of a bullish two-bar Charlie, but it's going to probably benefit from what the Dow is doing. So you should see this close positive and be all day up too, but it's not an official two-bar Charlie. S&P 500 is up 93 and a half points at 2576 half. This one just came shy of a two-bar Charlie as well. The Russell is a bullish two-bar Charlie. It's going to be up all day and close green on the day. It is up 41.1 points at 1094.1. Bitcoin futures composite index is up $395 at 7,195. Nat gas up 6 at $1.68. Crude oil is down $1.20, and it's at $27.15. It did hit $28.25 in the overnight, and went as low as $25.20. So this one's probably going to stay range bound for the rest of the day. Trade within this $3 range that it's in. All right, the long bond is down a full point in 31/30, trading at 180.19. All right, and I'm sorry, now it's at the low of the session. It's down 2 full points at 180.18. All right, so that's a new low for the overnight. Gold is up $28.50 at $1,674.10 an ounce. And silver is up 25 cents at $14.75 an ounce. And the US dollar is up 25 pips it's at trading at par 83 right now. All right. That's 100.83. And we got the euro yen up 39 pips at 117.66. It is also in a bullish 2-bar Charlie, which means that it's going to be an all-day up day, and the market will and should close in the green. Looking at the euro is down 31 pips, trading at 108.03. Looking at the pound sterling, it's up 5 pips at 122.87. And the Aussie is up 75 pips at 60.77. Going over to food, soybeans is down 4 3/4 points at 849.5, and corn is down 2, trading at 328 3/4. All right, so like I said, I did not move or tighten up my stop. I left it to the original stop. It's going to get stopped out anyway, so it doesn't matter. And like I said, probably into the close, I'll be looking to reposition myself in that market. All right. Let's see here. I'm also looking to do some futures trading in the night session tonight. So I will update you all with that. But as of right now, no shopping list together. Being that the market, the stock indexes are up so heavy, probably will not be taking a position today. If that changes, I will update in the trading room. But as of right now, right this second, probably not. But I am working on a few things too, so I will be sharing all of that with you guys as I'm done with that. Something that I think is going to bless you. So I'll let you know. All right, let's see. All right, someone says they're sorry, but the America as we know is finished. The one worlders will get their way. All right, how about this? Yes, we're headed into dark times. Yes, in my opinion, right, there's our opening bell for those of you that are checking for that. All right, yes, America's in a dark place. Yes, I did just get stopped up. Okay, so here's the thing. I believe that America is bowing out gracefully, all right, from the world scene. But that does not mean that we're going into a socialist or communist state of affairs in the world. What I believe is that the world is actually turning into a capitalist structure. Now, don't get me wrong, it's going to rule and be a totalitarian state. The one world government will be a totalitarian state, and everything has already been put into place for that. All right. But the way the world operates is going to be a super hyper capitalist structure. Like I said, I don't think we've seen the lows in the market yet, but I am 100% sure we have not seen the highs in the markets either. I think the markets go lower before they go higher. And I believe that this could be a protracted situation. I believe that the global economies as we know it will be taking a dump. I think that it's going to be a global financial hardship for a time being, since everything is globally connected. So just because one country may be doing poorly doesn't mean everyone's going to be doing equally poorly. It just means that it's going to be a weight, on the economic front. With that said, though, behind this, on the back of this depressionary, deflationary event, I believe we're going to see capitalism explode worldwide to the point where we might not even have any more third world countries. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, I believe that a time of unfathomable prosperity is on the back of this deflationary depression. And like I said, it's going to get worse before it gets better. But on the back of this is going to be something absolutely extraordinary. So you got to prepare yourself for that, because that's what it's going to be. Now, I know that during the time of the Great Depression, right after 1929, when the markets collapsed and the world was thrown into a depression, and then the government made that depression worse by its actions. If you would have told someone back in 1929, at the end of the day, the same day that the market tanked the way it did, if you would have told them, look, man, let me explain something to you. You're about to go into 10 years of hardship, but I have some light for you at the end of the tunnel. If you hang in there, you're about to see an incredible bounce back in the market. Now, you may be dying, all right, the year where you really see the highs taken out, but they will be taken out, and your children and your grandchildren will benefit from said prosperity. They would look at you and say, "What are you drunk?" You know, they wouldn't have understood you. They wouldn't have understood you. Look at the high of the Dow back in 1929 versus the high of the Dow just this year alone. That is something that would have been unfathomable to any adult in 1929. All right, when their Dow in 1929 was like at 90 or whatever, imagine you telling them, look, man, the Dow is going to get to almost 30,000. I know the Dow is at 30 right now today while we're here eating dinner, but I just want to let you know, Grandpa, the Dow is going to go to 30,000. I seen it in a dream last night. They look at it and they say, 30,000? Are you a lunatic? They wouldn't have believed you. But yeah, this generation has seen the Dow kiss 30,000. They saw a Dow 30. You saw a Dow 30,000. Okay? So they couldn't fathom that. Or if you fast forward it to the year 1932 or even 1935 and told them, look, man, I know you don't have nothing to eat. I know there's a dust bowl going on, but I'm here to tell you that in the future, you're gonna be experiencing unprecedented wealth. This is going to be the wealthiest nation in the history of the world. They would have looked at you and laughed and said, man, get out of my face, you drunk. Or you done been standing in the sun too long. Get from around me with that. That's what they would have told you. All right? Because it was unfathomable what was to come in the future. Fast forward to 1980. All right, we're in the 80s now. We've now entered into what they call the technology age. Remember now, there were shows, there were movies made about the 1980s. Don't forget, they had movies like, thinking about the year 1980, and don't forget the book called 1984. They thought that we were going to be in that technical totalitarian system in 1984. All right, because the people in the 1940s, they couldn't fathom 40 years from that point. They couldn't fathom technology. They couldn't fathom what was to come. If you'd have told someone in 1945, hey, yo, man, you been on the internet today recently? They would have said, what? Who? What? Net? I don't fish. Fishing? What? What about a fishing net? What? You say, no, Grandpa. I'm talking about the internet. And internet, you mean it's like a net you put inside of your fishing net? They wouldn't understand what you was talking about. They couldn't fathom it. They can't fathom those things. And if you would have told him, look, Paul, I know you lost your farm and everything, but let me tell you something. What's going to happen? You know, those that corn crop that you've been planting and that soybean crop. Let me explain something to you, my grandpa. Them soybeans right now that you selling for $3 a bushel. In the future, they're gonna be almost $20 a bushel. He would have passed out from sunstroke if you told him that. He'd be like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, Paul. The price is going to at least double in a not too distant future. But they wouldn't understand what you was talking about. But I guarantee you today, people who know the historical grain prices are looking and saying, yeah, we have doubled and tripled in price over time. So I'm saying to you, there's going to be things right now that you cannot fathom on the back of this thing. As after the dust settles, the U.S. as a country will still be here, but it'll be just a shred of its former self. I believe the U.S. is going to turn inwardly and no longer be the bully of the world, because it's going to be busy dealing with all the strife at home. All right. There's a lot of collapse going on in the U.S. All right. It's not just financial markets. There's a lot of things going on because absolute power corrupts absolutely. And this nation has known absolute power. And that absolute power is beginning to unravel. All right. Once the petrodollar dies, it's going to be chaos because nature abhors a vacuum. Once the big U.S. giant falls out of contention, someone else is going to want to rise up and lead. And that's where you're going to have a lot of tension and strife. So on the back of the U.S. empire falling from grace, that's when I believe, the next great war is going to break out as well. And it will be just mayhem. And then when the dust settles from that, that's when you're going to see the real purpose of 5G. That's when that rolls out. Problem, action, solution. That's why it is so important, people. Listen to the sound of my voice. You're going to need to accumulate as much currency as possible. And I use the word currency. All right. That includes your Bitcoin, that includes your gold and silver. And yes, it includes your US dollars for the time being. You're going to need to accumulate a massive amount of US dollars, because before the petrodollar loses its power, you're going to need to convert those US dollars at their high point into the digital assets and your physical assets. You're going to need to have it. There's going to come a time when if you don't have any digital dollars, you're going to be in a world of hurt. All right. And as they're converting to the digital dollar, you will be able to convert your hard dollars into digital dollars. All right. You're going to need it, because even when the digital dollar / digital petrodollar loses the reserve status, all right, it's not going to be worthless, or it'll just lose its reserve status. But you're still going to need to accumulate those. All right. You're still going to need to have it. At the end of the day, you're going to need to have it, because what they're going to do is convert all of your current assets into digital assets, because everything's going to go digital. That's why you need to accumulate as much as you can right now. Believe it or not, even though we're going into a time of deflationary depression, this is going to be your window of opportunity to accumulate digital assets. All right. You got to accumulate your digital assets. I say it one more time. You need to accumulate your digital assets. All right. Crypto is not going away. I know there's a lot of people that listen to my channel, even though they don't subscribe. And after I said that Bitcoin could go as low as 6,000, the first time I said that, everybody thought I was an idiot. But then after it hit 6,000, they came out of the woodworks trying to take credit for it. Then when I said, all right, we're looking at that 3,500 level, all right, everybody said, nah, he's really nuts. Now, after it did it, people were claiming that they said that was going to happen. All right. Now, recently, I told you, based on the acceleration of the momentum, we could drop below 1,000. Now people are coming out making videos saying Bitcoin is, now they're trying to go work more than me. They're saying it's going to $10. I didn't say all that. I said it could drop below 1,000. I never said it was going to no $10. Bitcoin will never go to $10. I'm sorry. Bitcoin is going to be the boss for a long time. I don't see that ever changing. All right. So what I'm saying to you all is you need money today like you never needed it before. You need your digital assets. All right. You have to accumulate them. This is your window to do that during this deflationary depression. I know it sounds counterintuitive. You would think, nah, the time to accumulate is when things are going good. That's when you do that. Oh, snap. While we are talking, I tell you, people listen to this channel. That's why we don't have a 5 million subscribers, because they can't allow that. They won't allow that. But look at this. While I'm talking to you, here's a note. We are experiencing issues with CME orders. Please call the trade desk if you need immediate assistance. All right. CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, home of the famous and infamous E-mini S&P 500 futures contract. That is telling you something, folks. They're trying to say that Globex is experiencing some issues. Whenever they're saying they're having problems with CME orders, they're talking about Globex. Yep, Globex, that entity that came into existence in the late 1990s that I was a part of and running pilots for and all that good stuff. The order routing system that was going to be the NASDAQ, the version for futures trading. They're saying they're having issues. Now, Globex is a very mature system. All right. Globex is not some new thing where they be having some kind of problems with it. Globex is a triple OG right now. So I just want to let y'all know that if they're having issues, there is a lot of chasing right now. Okay. All right. So this is where we are right now. This is what's going on. I think that a lot of people are jumping on the long train today. All right. So I don't know what's going on, but don't chase the market. We don't chase markets here. We don't do that, folks. If you missed your trade last night or this morning, the market will be here for you tomorrow. It will be here for you later today after 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when the futures markets reopen. You can jump in at that time. All right. We don't do that. So people are piling on, all right, thinking, oh, this is it. The bottom is in. Get in now. Get in while the price is low. I'm here to tell you this market will probably be down as much as it's up right now. It'll probably be down 800 by tomorrow's opening bell, or we could even be at a circuit breaker to the bottom. These rallies are bear market rallies. Remember what I taught you. Bear market rallies tend to be extremely powerful. All right. Bear market rallies tend to be more powerful than bull market rallies. And that's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing the market bounce, and that's it. All right. Don't chase this rally. If anything, keep your powder dry and get ready to get long this mark. I'm sorry, get short the futures and get long the inverse ETFs, like I am going to do, but not at this moment. I'm going to wait toward the end of the day and reevaluate. And that's what you should do as well. And I'll update you with my position report. I'm currently flat. I'm long nothing, but I will be making my list out. Also, I want to put you up on game with the with gold right now, the gold futures. What's going on with gold? All right, so gold is up right now, right? Showing off, right? Showing its behind, all right? Showing off, which is a good thing. You want to see gold, break out. You want to see gold do well. You want that. You need that. However, gold needs to hold and break, through its resistance. If it does not, then it runs the risk of getting sold and punished also. Any market that can't hold its runs will get punished. Remember those price inflection points I gave you for where the markets need to close Friday? All right, some of them actually met those, but a lot of them didn't. If a market doesn't meet that, it is a big deal, folks. And you will see what I mean come tomorrow for turnaround Tuesday. So don't get suckered into what's happening right now. Yes, the Bitcoin right now, as it stands right now today, Bitcoin is on the composite futures index. It is pulse waving bullish. Okay, we'll see if that will continue. If we can get a little bit more mustard out of it. The Dow is pulse waving positive. Gold is pulse waving positive. The Nasdaq oil is pulse waving positive. But the Russell is not pulse waving positive right now. Coming into today's trading session, it was not pulse waving positive. All right. Now, I'm going to throw you out a bone today. All right. Just to give you something to watch, something to think about. Based on how the markets closed today, how these stock indexes closed today, it's going to be very important. They need to close above their intraday price inflection points. If you take a look at your Russell, if you look at the PulseWave price trigger report for today on the Russell futures, that symbol is /RTY. If you pull it up by name, if you pull it up by symbol, it's RTYC1, and you should find that under your it should be on the futures tab. It should be on the it should be on the futures report. All right. That momentum trig is where the Russell needs to close today. It needs to close above that. If it does not, that means it's not going to be pulse waving positive with the rest of its peers, like the Dow, the S&P, and the Nasdaq. And so what that would mean is that this market is probably going to pull back tomorrow. Now, if it does close above its intraday price inflection point, that momentum trigger, then we have one more day possibly of rallying, which means that Tuesday, instead of turnaround Tuesday, we're going to get a continuation Tuesday. So we'll take out today's highs, and then the market will settle back down inside of today's bar. Once that happens, if we go that route, then the market will fall precipitously on Wednesday. All right, I'm giving you days now. All right, I'm giving you days. Okay. Now, as far as I see all the questions about gold. Okay, as far as gold is concerned, 1700 is a psychological resistance. All right, that's a psychological resistance. It's not necessarily the resistance. It's just a psychological resistance. Okay. Let me do something for you real quick. I'm going to show you. Hold on 1 second. I'll show you where the real deal is. Let me see something here. All right, let's see. All right. We are at, all right, let's see, gold. Give me just a moment, and I'll tell you what's what. Okay, there. All right. Okay, believe it or not, gold doesn't need to go to 1700 today. All right. There's a strong possibility it may not, and that's fine. All gold needs to do today is close above $1,636.80. That's all it needs to do, which should be easy because it's well above that now. So if it closes above that today, then it will be considered pulse waving positive or bullish. All right. And then we can see a continuation of March up to the 1700. So if you missed a buy-in today on the gold futures, for those that trade futures, then your next stop was to get in on the GLD. If you also missed your entry on GLD, then what you would need to do then is wait for the next buy signal, which more than likely will come for tomorrow's trading. Yeah, I just don't like jumping in and chasing a market, especially when it's had a really powerful upward thrust. That's normally not the intelligent move. That's normally not the intelligent play. But I will say this, though. There are certain markets that I watch that tend to be really good indicators of the strength of a bull or a bear market. And if these certain entities can break out and close good, then it's a problem. Okay, look at your SWAN today, ticker SWAN. That's supposed to be like, a long S&P 500 play. I'm oversimplifying. And it's supposed to have mechanisms in it so that when the market is down, it doesn't fall as much. It'll still fall, but not as much. So it's designed to have some shorting aspects in it to help keep it afloat and not fall as much or even at all. Swan is having problems right now. Swan is down a penny. It's in the red. It's not supposed to be in the red. It's supposed to be green today because the Dow is green today. The S&P is green today. Then the NASDAQ and Russell are all green. All four primary markets are green. Why is the Swan not green? It needs to be green. That's problematic. See what I'm saying? You got to watch how certain markets behave because then it lets you know what the vote is on the other assets. And right now, the vote is we're seeing so far one situation where it's saying, I don't buy the rally today. Don't get fooled by the rally today. So you have to look at that. You really got to look at that. Sometimes you can see it. Sometimes you don't see the relationship, but other times you can. It is there for you to see it. Let's see another thing that's not really thrusting. You look for majors that are not thrusting, that should be thrusting with the market, and if they're not, it gives you an idea of like what's happening here. So that's the one major thing. I'm looking at Hack. Hack is green because the market's green, but it's not up, as much as it could be, and it is still trading below $35. So we're quiet on the home front, so we don't have to worry about any like mischief happening. So that's a good thing. But gold being up, I don't care what they say, that's not good for the strength of the stock market. Because remember, gold is a flight to quality. All right. And technically speaking, gold can't be up if the dollar is up because gold is a commodity also. It's a dual entity. It's a commodity and it's a currency. But the dollar is up today. So your commodities can't be up. Notice when I was giving you the pre-market setups for when we got into the foods, I gave you soybeans and corn. Notice how they were down significantly because the dollar was up. Well, gold is up hard, and so is the dollar. So that's telling you something. What is that telling you? It's telling you that as we're watching this market, gold is literally competing with the dollar today. That's not good. It's not a good sign for the strength of the dollar, number one. It's also not a good sign about what the market sees for inflation in the near term. That's not a good sign. And also, it's not a good sign because um, bonds are only down a point and a quarter now. All right, they're off the lows of the session. Bonds should be down a lot more with the Dow being up 1,000 points. I was expecting bonds to be down at least 5, 6, 7, 8 points, like it was in the past, past couple of weeks. But instead, we're getting very minimum pullback in bonds. Bonds is a flight to quality. That's where the scared money goes. Bonds are scared money, and it's on sale today. Being down a point and a quarter in today's market environment is a sell. It's saying that bonds are on sale today. Today's the day to buy bonds. That's what it's telling you. All right. And it's telling you that you should have already been long the gold. You see what I'm saying? The market is giving off signals. It's telling you what to look for and what's going on in the market. So I don't care how high the market goes today and into tomorrow. By the end of the week, I expect the market to be down significantly. All right. So we have our forecast. That's our roadmap. But now with all of that, how do you trade it? That is the key. You got to have your roadmap first. You got to say, okay, where are we? Where are we? We've been driving on this road for 3 hours. Where are we? Are we lost? Where are we? So I gave you the map, the overall market complexion. What are we looking at? What are we seeing? Now it's time to look into, all right, what is the what is the game plan? All right. So I saw the question earlier about the pound sterling and the euro. All right, so if the dollar is going to go negative here, because now it's up only 11, if it goes negative here, right, and or drops below par, then you should see the euro, the pound, and the Aussie rally with it. I'm sorry, yeah, rally, not with it, but rally. Another thing that's interesting though is how, if you notice how the Aussie is green today. Anyone who in the live chat that is up in that trade, go ahead and give a notation in the live chat so I can see anyone who took the trade from the report today on the Aussie. I believe that was also the free trade. All right. Notice how it's green. It's up, even though the dollar is up. All right. What does that tell you? Now, remember, technically speaking, if the dollar is up, all the other currencies are supposed to be red. But you're seeing greenish. You're seeing a strong rally in the Aussie. Today, the Aussie is acting like a currency, like it should now. And it's benefiting off of what's happening in the gold market. Remember, Aussie wasn't responding when we were having those nice upward moves in gold. It was still struggling. That's because the dollar was so strong. So it couldn't rally. It wanted to rally, but it couldn't rally. Now today it's rallying. It's acting like gold today. Remember what I taught you about certain forex pairs. Certain forex pairs are dual pairs. They act as currencies, which they are, but they also benefit from their underlying commodity exports. All right. So we know the Aussie is analogous to trading gold, right? So that's why it's behaving the way it is. All right. So that's what's going on. All right. All right. So you say it was too weird. You're already out of the Aussie. All right. That's what's up. But you took your money and ran. You'll never go broke taking profits, people. Always remember that one. All right. So oh, we didn't do this. Let me give you what's going on, the word on the street real quick. All right. Shrugging off the pessimism, stocks rally on early signs that lockdowns are working against coronavirus. Global stocks surged on Monday as investors cheered declines in daily death tolls in Italy, Spain, and France. Oil prices slumped after Saudi Arabia and Russia delay talks to end their price war. Brent in West Texas Intermediate crude slid by more than 3% in morning trading. A hedge fund made a 40% gain by calling the coronavirus sell-off and shorting stocks. It was clear the market was underpricing the impact of COVID-19, Diamond Asia Capital's boss told Bloomberg. YouTube will delete videos that falsely link 5G to the novel coronavirus after reports of people setting phone masks on fire. The online video titan is taking action to combat the conspiracy. Notice how no truth was even talked about in that article. It just said conspiracy. It didn't even provide any evidence or proof against it. I thought this whole Western civilization was all about science, the religion of science. Okay, so then do the knowledge to it. Okay, you say it's a conspiracy. Address the conspiracy. Address the concerns. People say they got a concern. They think that the 5G is causing the coronavirus. Okay, well then now you prove how it's not. That can be easily done. You got the technology. We got labs. Let's go into the lab. Let's turn on the 5G. Aim it toward the mice and the rats, like you always do, and let's see what happens. Let's see if there are symptoms after a day, after a week, after a month is similar. Let's see. You know, I guarantee you they don't want to do that, and they will not do that. Not now, not ever. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want you to know. I mean, come on. YouTube is full of debunking videos. All right. So if you want to, let's do it. Let's have an open discussion on it. Let's have a fair, open discussion. And the way you do that is you come on to prime time, and you have a real debate, and I mean a professional debate. That's what you do. Okay, we got a treat for you guys. We got a treat for you.
I don't know if it's a treat.
Right?
What's up, buddy?
What up? Go ahead, man. What do I have to do? Stop sharing my screen?
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, buddy. I just wanted to come on and say hey and show some people some cool stuff that was coming up. So it didn't mean to get in your flow.
No, go for it, man. Go for it. I'm just as excited as you are. Go for it.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Good morning. This is Frank from PulseWave Trading. So been a while, man. Wow, we got a bunch of people watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe and get those alerts every day from Dex. But yeah, I've been kind of going a little crazy wanting to show people something. You know, I was just in the live chat, and somebody awesome was saying they're about to join, and I was saying, listen, if you're about to join, that's awesome, but get a free membership today. And we really just we just released a big upgrade to the free membership. This is really an upgrade to all the memberships. So this is your member orientation. Some of you are familiar with this. This is actually pretty new, but it used to stop about here, and we just updated it with these next steps. And now, even the free members have access to these first two here, Dex. That's something new. I didn't tell you about that. That's kind of a surprise.
That's what's up.
So we used to have a video or two just showing you how to enter the order. Now we give you access. Even with a free membership, you get access to our full crypto trading resource page and our full forex trading resource page. So you can go in and learn how to enter orders using the system just the way every other member does. We still keep the pop method. If you click on that with a free membership, it's going to tell you to upgrade. Also, Dex, something that you and I have talked about a million times. I don't know why it took me so long, but I finally got your epic intro to the trading room is now available right on the dashboard for free members as well.
Outstanding. Outstanding. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. You click on this. This is our new Dex, by the way.
That's what I'm talking about.
Usually it has a pulse wave on the stomach, but this is a play button. So, but anyway, yeah, this is worth your time, folks. Like I know people want to listen to Dex, and I hate to interrupt, but if you like what Dex has to say, this little intro here it's not so much nuts and bolts as much as a philosophy on how to approach trading every day as a trader, and it's just sick. It's really just an hour-long podcast of Dex talking about trading, and it's phenomenal. It's old too. You can tell you're like, you sound a little different.
Yeah, and that one I give a lot of, because people want to know, they have questions about the strategy, the system, and I give you all the theory and the philosophy behind what we do and how we do it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, very powerful video. And then there's this new video about how all the things that Dex did to the reports and how they work now. And then we threw a webinar on there just for if you're not able to go to one live. This is a recent one we did. I'm just basically going to put my most recent favorite webinar in there every week, but gives you a good overview of the system. So anyway, without taking up any more of the show, just wanted people to know that
oh, it's all good. I got something for you too, player.
I can't wait. If you're interested in learning the system, first of all, Dex made the system a lot easier. The reports got consolidated. There's just a couple things you need to learn about them. They talk to you. They're just so much easier to use. But then we've really pared things down to where you're just learning what you need to know to get in there and ride the pulse waves real fast. So very, very cool for those of you. So thanks for letting me show Dex. I just wanted people to know about that. I thought, especially for those of you who are sort of like teetering, like, do I want to try this out? You get about 90% of what the paid members get on the orientation side. So you'll really get a feel for what's going on with PulseWave trading on that free membership. So check it out.
Well, on that note, since we putting out surprises, the thing that I promised you guys that I was working on, is out. It's done. I finished it.
What are you talking about? What did you do?
Oh, you know how the sheets talk to you?
Yeah.
They're gonna talk even more now. They're not gonna shut up.
What did you do? I
added the PreMarket PulseScan 2-bar Charlies to the. I married it to the schematic of the system.
How's that even possible? I don't even know, because the 2-bar Charlie, doesn't that happen after open?
Yes, it does.
So now you're just doing witchcraft on people.
Nope. The system is going to tell you what the 2-bar Charlies are before they happen. The day before.
Oh my! I don't even understand.
And it predicts the day after.
All right, we have to.
Like what I said to you guys. I gave you the date of what's going to happen this week.
Yeah.
I said, this is what this report is going to do.
It's funny because I got on late this morning while you were streaming, and all of a sudden you're like, "I'm going to tell you what's going to happen on Tuesday," and I'm like, "He doesn't usually talk like this. This is
yes." So the report is going to talk to you now and do that for you.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. And you know how people say, "Well, I'm confused because we're in a bull market, we're in a bull trend, but then we got this crash alert."
Yeah, it's so confusing. Yeah,
and I don't know what to do. What should I go long? Should I go short? Now the report is going to say, "Come here, let me holler at you for a second." It's going to say, "I know you're probably thinking like, man, should I go long? Should I go short? Let me show you something on the report. Do you notice that there's no sell trigger today?" What do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah, the system's telling you, don't short today.
You're kidding.
Go the opposite way, get long. Okay, well, how do I get long? They'll tell you if the market does this, get in it at this price.
Wow. That's insane.
And it's taking into account a possible 2-bar Charlie for the next open. And if one has already occurred, it factors that in too and tells you, should you take it or not? It knows if it's going to work out or not.
Like all the recent changes, these are things that are just kind of built in, right? These aren't things you have to learn.
Yes. Yep. Nope. Built
just
in.
By using the system the way you use it.
Yes.
It's going to do that. Okay.
Yep. It's going to take all the guesswork out.
I like how you say things that just happen automatically, but you give them like a story. And then people start asking me in the chat, like, how do I do that thing he said? And I'm like, you don't understand. He's just dramatizing something that happens automatically.
Yeah, but wait till you see the report.
Yeah. Okay.
The report, you could be like, I don't get it. And then when I explain it, you'll get it.
Wow.
So this will, are you busy?
No, I'm talking to you on.
All right, look, when I'm done with this, let's go ahead and do
I was gonna say
a live stream for our members. And we'll look at a sample of today's report.
Awesome.
I mean, it'll be actually today's report, but in this format.
Very cool.
So we can do that.
Let's do it. All right.
I mean, if people want to, if they don't want to, then I understand. But what do y'all? What y'all thinking in live? Is that something y'all want? Y'all want to see? Y'all want to see these little secrets? The little ancient Chinese secrets? Because I got it for you.
You have to slap that like button for one thing. If we're
Yeah,
gonna
you gotta slap the like button, folks. You gotta look at least do that. You know what I'm saying?
not
At least do that.
number of people watching right now. So.
Yeah, but I think this is going to help people a lot. I know it's helped me, and I figured, whatever I'm doing that helps me, I want to help you guys. Now, don't get it twisted though. The triggers are still loaded, folks. They're super loaded now. But I was finally able to merge the soybean and cotton system aspect to the to the 2-bar Charlie.
Santana's asking, is that just for futures? No, it's built into the whole system now.
Hey, do me a favor. Hold down the fort for a second. I need to run real quick. I have a guy at the door. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I love when you do that.
I know.
Oh man, he's muted and everything. See, I wasn't even supposed to be here. Now I'm talking to people all by myself. Well, while I'm here and talking all by myself, I might as well share my screen again and get into some of the stuff that I came on to show you guys about. So with our new member orientation, it walks you through. You've got these first 5 steps really quick. You got a welcome video there. And then we show you how to use our Slack chat, which is really important to what we do at PulseWave Trading. If you guys have been part of it, there are, by the way, 2 Slack rooms. We have our free one. Thanks, Cat Lady. We have our free one, but then if you upgrade, we give you a new button so you can get into our premium Slack. And in both of those, they're mostly the same, except in our premium one, Dex will give his positions on a day-to-day basis. So he'll actually tell you what he's in and what he's working through. So we show you how to do that. And the cool thing is we don't email you all the time. We use Slack to send out our alerts and to communicate. So it's very interactive, very cool, and you're not getting spammed by stuff. And then we have an orientation just showing you when things are posted, how they're posted, what they look like. And then we got a cool thing you guys will see very often. Let me see. Actually, I have one right here. So this is in fact, you can see, I'll zoom in here. This is our PulseWave chart. All right. And you could see it has the Kumo cloud on it. It has our moving average and different indicators on it. These are the indicators that we use specifically to use the system at PulseWave Trading. And so one of the things we do early in your orientation is show you how to grab those charts. We actually have downloads, and you can just immediately pull them into your own account. And then we start to show you how to actually place orders and stuff like that. And what these pages are is specifics on how to place specific types of orders. So for example, as it's loading, we have at least 3 ways that we teach people to trade cryptos. There's what you would call, at least what KuCoin calls spot trading. So we have a video showing you how to do that. We have margin trading, and then we have contract trading. So whatever way you're looking to trade cryptos, we've got it for you. So that's the kind of stuff that you're going to find in addition to the other videos that we showed. And then this thing here, the POP method, this is, I get misty-eyed and warm feelings in my heart when I think about the POP method, because what it enables you to do is to manage your trades yourself in a way that is smart, that's intelligent, that's effective. Because those of you who are traded and raise your hand in the live chat if this is you. The scariest part is when your trade's active and you don't know what to do with it, whether you're gaining money or losing money. When you're just sitting there going, what should I do? Should I be out already? Should I wait? Is this thing going to rally? Am I leaving money on the table? POP method takes all of that emotion and chaos out of it, and you're able to just within a few seconds come up with a couple of smart pro level stop losses, which is really a big part of the trading game. So that's what you get, folks. PulseWaveTrading.com. We have some webinars coming up this week as well. I'll be updating those soon, so hold off on registering for those because they're not actually there. The website's lying, but they will be up in a little while. All right, you know what I'm going to do? Dex and I are going to be back in a little while. He was telling me we're gonna jump on together and we're going to look at some of the craziness that he added to our new reports. And so we'll be back with that live in a little bit, unless he gets on before I can click end broadcast. So thanks so much, everybody, for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Our channel is growing again, despite the obvious throttling we've gotten from our overlords at a certain channel that shows tubes. and a certain website that has tubes on it. So we really appreciate you liking, subscribing, and sharing. Really, the word is not going to get out unless you share it, because the algorithm is not in our favor with the level of interaction and support that Dex gets. That's really clear to us, because I know you guys appreciate him so much, just like I do. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back in a little while with that other show, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll see you later. PulseWaveTrading.com.